First of all, it's great to be in game week. Time really has flown by. It seemed like we were just starting camp, and I think we've had a really good camp. I really do. We're excited. It's always an exciting time to open a new season, even though you're playing an opponent that is going to be a little tougher than most, if you will. But other than that, again, we get to find out a little bit more about our team. We get to get some game reps under the lights against very, very good competition. So it's going to be, it's a fun week. There's really not a whole lot of pressure on us. It's one of those deals that we're going to go out, we're going to compete, do what we do the best, and see what happens.
Questions for Coach. What's been the most impressive part of the team so far in practice, Coach?
I think we've had a really good work ethic, and I believe we got a bunch of good boys on the football team. They got great attitudes. They come to work. We haven't had very many days that we've taken off. We've had some days that may not have been as fiery as other days, but you're going to have that. But all in all, the guys have wanted to learn. They've gone out and they've practiced hard. They've tried to do what we've asked them to do to the best of their ability, and now it's time to go play and see what type of product we have.
Maikhail, talk about the progress you feel you've made since you've gotten here, now being named the #1 quarterback.
Right. I think I've made good progress. Just getting in here and getting the plays down and getting the chemistry with the guys. It usually takes a while coming to a college atmosphere with everybody from different places. So I think I did a good job with that and really put a good way of learning.
What was the most difficult part of it? What's the part that maybe anyone would struggle with?
Right. Just getting here and getting everything done so quick. I think that'll be the hardest thing to do.
Coach, was there any one thing that Maikhail did that made you pick him to be your starter, or was it a combination of things?
It was a combination of a bunch of different things. I expand a little bit on that. It happened very fast, and I give credit to our staff and to Maikhail to make things go as smooth as they did. We didn't have a whole lot of time to make that transfer happen, and it went well, and he did a really good job of just jumping in and being a part of the team from the get-go. One thing about it is we're all competitors, and I always say when I competed, if we got a new guy on the team that could help us win, we embraced him fully, and I think our guys felt that with Maikhail. It was a really good battle. Early on, we really didn't have anybody that wanted it. And I say that because Maikhail was new, learning a different way of doing things. But as we progressed through the camp, he became more consistent each and every day, and we felt like with the more reps that he would be given, that the potential for him to lead our offense was greater than anybody else on the team, and it gave us the best chance of winning.
You had a couple of other transfers come in, I believe, a kid from Louisville and a kid from Kentucky. Where are you at as far as their roles right now?
I only can comment on one of them right now, and Jalen Harrington, and he's a guy that has a tremendous upside. He could play either side of the ball. I think he finished up playing offense at Louisville, but when Coach Strong called me about him, it was, hey man, this guy's an outside linebacker, and we needed some depth there at that position. So that's what he's going to play initially. I told him he does a good job at that. At the end of the year, we'll reevaluate and may give him a chance to be a tight end or an H-back for us. But right now he's very athletic. He runs well. The key is, we're going to have to keep it very simple for him early on just because of the lack of reps he's gotten within our defense.
Can you talk about Missouri a little bit, offensively, what you've seen from them? It looks like they've got some really big receivers. Is kind of the thing that jumps off the page.
Well, their offensive line's huge. It is what it is. They're an SEC offensive lineman. Maikhail's used to seeing them. It's been since '99 since I've seen guys, that big. Other than we play Florida State and Louisville, that play the bigger teams. But the quarterback, he makes them go. He's a dual threat. He's a very good player, very polished in their system. They have the one receiver who is player of the year a couple years ago, and he's a tremendous athlete. But they got two other receivers that are really good. So offensively, they got a lot of weapons. And then on the defensive side of the ball, it's just a matter, can our offensive line hold up to their athleticism on the defensive line? And I think anytime you play a game like this, that's the biggest question you got. Can you hold your own in the trenches, and can you hold your own in the special teams? I've always said if we went out and played 7-on-7 against these guys, teams like this, that I feel like we would, we'd be able to hold our own a little bit better than facing a line like that. And the thing about a game like this, since we're in a big basketball area, this is kind of like Murray State's basketball team going and playing the worst NBA team. That's the jump that you're going. But I do feel good about us. We're a bigger team than we've been in the past. We got some skill guys that can compete at a very high level, and we're excited. We're excited about the opportunity.
What do you think the strength as far as positions of your team so far is?
Well, I really think our secondary is a big strength. That's been a weakness the past couple of years, but I think our new scheme has allowed them to get more eyes to the football, and has allowed them to use their athleticism, and where they're not on an island all the time. And they're playing with a lot of confidence on that side of the ball. And then offensively, right now, I think it's our backfield. You look at the experience we got with Dwayne Brady and Jamal Berry. Those guys have made big-time plays for us over the past few years. And we've talked about it before. We're breaking a new quarterback. We got 2 receivers that hadn't played a whole lot of ball out there, and then we got 2 guys on the right side of the line that have been played very sparingly. But I think we're very athletic. If the biggest question I have is we just lack experience, and the only way you do that is go out and play, and that's what we're going to do Saturday at 6.
Cale, talk about Walter Powell, working with him as a receiver, All-American at the FCS level. Just talk about the chemistry you guys have developed so far.
All right. Well, he's very similar to SEC receivers. He's fast, he's quick, and he go get it. So it wasn't a very different transition for me and him to hiccup, and he can go get the deep ball as well. So it's been a good transition. He's a very good leader. He was probably one of the first people to come talk to me and just tell me welcome to Murray. So it's been a good time.
And if you turn around and hand it, you have a couple of good running backs back there in Berry and Brady too.
Right, they are. I really hadn't seen them do a whole lot because I just got here, and I've heard of what they did, and I've seen a couple of highlights of what they did, and it looked good.
When you were talking about your secondary, you mentioned that you thought the new scheme was helping you. What are the ways that it differs from what you did on defense in the past?
We're playing a lot more zone coverage, and now again we can mix it up and play man as well. But we're playing more zone. We got we're getting more underneath help with our linebackers and pass situations. So we're just not lining the guy up out there and said, hey, play man the whole game. So we're getting some over the top help, and from that standpoint, it's going to make it a whole lot easier. And to expand on that question, that tells you how smart Walter Powell is. He knew Maikhail may be the starting QB, so he made sure he went and met him real quick. He didn't catch 94 balls last year for nothing now. He's a smart fella.
Pointed out his number.
There you go. I just had to point that out.
I know it's been a bit more mild than normal temperature-wise, yet it looks like it's going to be about 95, 96. Is that something, they're probably going to have to deal with the same thing, but is that something that could cause an issue for your team?
I hope not. That's something you got no control over, Neil. During camp, it was nice that it was cool out there. It kept the guys fresh. It allowed us to continue to practice without cutting back. But as always, it always heats up the first week of the season. And last week we had 3 hot days that normally this time of year you'd be very accustomed to. So it is a concern when you don't have a whole lot of depth like we don't have. I feel like our front line's good, and we got depth at certain positions, but not overall like a Missouri would have. Yeah, that is a concern, but this is one of the few times that I'm excited about playing a night game because it's going to be a little cooler than maybe playing 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But it's the only time I'm excited about playing a night game.
As far as injuries, how healthy are you guys going into the final week of preparation for Missouri?
Well, I feel good. I feel like we're good. I mean, you guys should be rested. You had a couple days off headed into game week, which will actually start our preparations on the field tomorrow for that. The biggest injury that we've had in camp was Zach Littlefield, and again, at the end of the day, it was not as bad as we initially thought after the scrimmage. I'm hoping maybe to have him back Bowling Green, Jacksonville State week, and his rehab's progressing nicely. So hopefully we can continue to stay healthy and go up there and play good, play the best we can play. That's all we look. That's all we ask each and every week. Come out of there unscathed and kind of find out what type of team we have. I say that we in 2004 we were one of the first teams to play an up-tempo game, and we're out there, we're running 100 plays at practice, we're fired up, and we go in the first game and we get beat, and we had a really good defense. So after that, we said, we just probably need to hurry up and wait offense. And so we started milking the clock every time, and lo and behold, won 13 straight in a national championship. So we learned a lot about our team after one game, and I think that's what's intriguing about this week. To find out, what we do well and what we need to hang our hat on.
You've got two seniors at running back, Jamal Berry and Dwayne Brady. How do they look so far?
Well, Will, they're good players. I've already said that, they're the strength of our team, and we've only scrimmaged a couple times, and two senior running backs that have proven themselves. Their role is. And scrimmages is carry it once or twice, get hit, and then go stand on the sideline. So, but they look good. They both catch the ball well, and I expect big years out of both of them.
Any new guy, freshman, redshirt guy that has really made a jump here in the fall camp that pops up to you?
I don't know that you could actually say a new guy, a big. I shouldn't say a big surprise, but a bonus to us was Darian Yavi's play at corner. We played safety last year every game for us, started majority of the time, and moved him to corner in the spring. And this camp, we needed another corner, and he's really been playing well. And then offensively, I think the guy that may have had as good a camp as anybody is old Janowski Davis. He's a guy that Maikhail can throw to quick, and he's got good moves, and he gets up the field quickly. So, he was Walter's backup last year, made some plays when we put him in the game. And so we got both of them on the same side. So we're looking forward to that. And another bonus of playing in Missouri, we have a lot of guys on the team, some key players from the St. Louis area that, including Walter and Paul Rice and a couple other guys that are excited about the opportunity to play in their home state.
Maikhail, you feel like you've had time to develop a good rhythm with your receivers?
I think I have. We do a lot before we actually team up here, and we didn't do that at Ole Miss. We do a lot of routes on there, and I think that helps out a lot with getting the chemistry with your receivers down.
You talk about your relationship with Casey Brogman and how he's sort of maybe served as a mentor for you.
He's helping out in the quarterback room now, and he just gives me a lot of input on how he saw things when he played and what he kind of keyed on when he was going through a certain progression.
Coach, to follow up on that with Casey, talk a little bit about having him join the staff and helping out.
Well, as I always like for all of our players that want to get into coaching to help us out. Casey will graduate in December. Coaching's what he wants to do, and we're able to help him out, by continuing to pay for his school, but also he's a great asset to us. He knows the offense. He knows what we're looking for. He's big in helping breaking down opponent film. Does a good job, has a good rapport with the players on the team. I really expect him to be a really good football coach when it's all said and done. So needless to say, we're excited about having him, Will.
I got one more.
All right.
Just because they don't get talked about, talk a little bit about your special teams guys.
They're all local guys, so everybody ought to be excited about that. We got Jordan Benton, who held all the kicking duties last year, very solid player for us. Right now, Carson Griffin Camp is going to be our kickoff man. He's got a good leg, and he's been kicking well in practice, and Duncan, he's been our deep snapper now, and did a fabulous job last year at that, Christian Duncan. So that's the starting battery, along with Stephen Mix, who's from Western Kentucky, had a good season punting. So we went into last season, they were all brand new. None of them had ever kicked in a college game, and now this year they all have a year under their belt. I feel a lot more comfortable about them than I did last season.